St. George North. And good night to all those who are at home watching us and listening to us on their computers. Now, I do not have that kind of forceful voice that Ian Cupid Gill has. I'm an old man, and the voice is not what it used to be. I have come tonight, people, to tell you that I want this victory by Tony Moore to be a massive victory. I do not want it to be just a victory. I want it to be massive. When you go to the polls, St. George North, on the 11th of November, I want you to return Tony Moore in massive numbers. Massive numbers. You know better than I do, St. George North, why we are here. We are here because Mr. Glenn Clark, who represented this constituency for 26 years, has decided to take up a position in Canada as Barbados' leading diplomat. He'll be going to Ottawa, Canada. And as a result of that, he's given up his seat in the House of Assembly, and we have to look for a representative. So you know exactly why we are here. Glenn Clark became a brother to me from 1994 when we walked up the steps of Parliament together. From then until now, we've become extremely close. And I can tell every one of you that Glenn Clark entered politics poor. And Glenn Clark will leave politics even poorer. But I can assure you that every single day of the week, every single week of the month and month of the year that Glenn Clark was in politics, he was doing something for the constituency of St. George North. And during his parliamentary career, you would know and I would know that Glenn Clark has got jobs for hundreds of people in St. George North. He has begged for facilities from almost every minister to improve St. George North. And he continues, even now, to beg for facilities for this constituency. I tell you all that, people, because I want to let you know what this by-election is all about. The first thing that this by-election is that it is a thank you Glenn Clark by-election. It is a thank you Glenn Clark by-election. And it is for that reason, if none other, that I want you to join with us and let us make this a massive, I mean, a massive victory. You know, the last time we had this type of by-election, this thank you type of by-election, was when Sir David Simmons resigned from Parliament to become Chief Justice of Barbados. And St. Thomas at that time, St. Thomas, had a thank you David Simmons vote. And they gave you Cynthia Ford massive numbers, a massive majority. And that is why I have come tonight, St. George North, to tell you, this is your turn. This is your turn to do for Glenn Clark, thank you. What St. Thomas did for David Simmons, thank you. You have to give Glenn that thank you vote. This will not be a thank you vote if people come and convince you to vote for something called an opposition. They're telling you to vote for an opposition. This would not be a thank you Glenn Clark vote if you vote for Floyd Reefer. This will not be a Glenn Clark thank you vote if you vote for the Democratic Labour Party. You must, in this thank you Glenn Clark vote for what Glenn Clark stands for. You have to vote for what he stands for. You have to let the status quo remain the way that Glenn Clark wants it to remain. So St. George North, I am asking you to keep it the way it is. Right now, use your common sense. If you want something done, you can easily ask Tony Moore or Glenn Clark to do it for you, because they are close to the ministers. And you know, if you said to Tony Moore, I want that pavilion in the Glebe finished, she is close enough to Minister Sutherland to say, I want that pavilion in the Glebe finished for the people of the Glebe. And Sutherland can look at her and say, no problem, I'll make sure it is done, as he has already done. She is close to Edghill, in Good in Edghill. And she can easily say, want the road up by Market Hill done. Right there, they go to parliamentary group meetings together. Now, do not let anyone encourage you to vote for a one-man opposition. Why should you put yourself in opposition when your party is already in office? It makes no common sense whatsoever. So on the 11th of November, people of Salters, people of Parishland, people of Sheffield, I beg you again, come out in your numbers and help to make it massive. Help to make it massive. You know, I have come to tell you what the by-election is all about. And you know the Dems are doing the same thing. I heard Verla de Pisa. She had the gumption to make the point that this by-election is a referendum on Mayor Motley's performance. You ever hear it? She said that this by-election is a referendum on Mayor Motley's performance. I beg to differ, and I differ strenuously. This is more a referendum on the Democratic Labour Party than it is on Mayor Motley's performance. You only have to think of where this country was on the 24th of May, 2018. Cupid Gill has told you already about the sewage that was on the South Coast. The piles of garbage that was all through Barbados. Those 23 downgrades. You know, we looked bad and we smelt bad. And the question I ask you tonight, did Mayor Motley improve it? The answer has to be yes. She took us out of that predicament. You know, this evening I was at home and I had a sheet of foolscap. And I was ticking, coming down, making the points, writing the things down that Mayor Motley has done since coming to office. And you know, they have 27 lines on one side and 27 on the other side of the foolscap. I finished the 27 and I was almost finished on the other side. She had done more than 54 things already, positive things for this country. Mayor Motley has pulled Barbados back from those downgrades. And a ticket. She has stabilized our finances. A ticket. She has handled COVID extremely well. And a ticket. Not only she has handled it well, but look, you know that we Barbados, we got an award for being a safe haven for cruise ships. The way it was handled. They had Trinidadians here that Trinidad wouldn't take. And we dealt with them here. We handled it well. And you tick, and you tick. Mayor Motley has improved the garbage collection throughout Barbados. She has improved the transport board system, the service, throughout Barbados. Mayor Motley has restored the tuition fees at the University of the West Indies and your ticket. Mayor Motley's opinion is being sought in all corners of the world now. You look at the TV often and see she talking here and she talking there to people. So she has given us back our prestige that the others had destroyed. And your ticket. She has stood up and she is still standing up to the European Union and your ticket. And whenever our Prime Minister speaks to the international press, whether it be to the United Nations, the WHO, whenever she speaks, she puts in a plug. Automatically she does it for Barbados. We will never be able to repay May Motley for the kind of marketing that she has done for this country. We owe her a significant debt of gratitude. This is no referendum on May Motley. May Motley she has ticked off every single box. She has ticked off every box. You know, I used to be a CXC marker in history. That was my subject, history. And I remember CXC called some examiners from Cambridge University to Barbados to train Barbadian markers. They trained about 24 history markers. And then they selected only 3 of those markers from among the 24. I was one of the 3. To turn around now and train Caribbean markers. I say that not to big up myself. I say that to let you know that I was a good marker. I say that to let you know that I was a fair marker. And I can tell you that for the work that May Motley has done over the past year and a half, 2 years, she does not deserve an A. She deserves an A+. You can't get higher than that. You can't get higher than that. May Motley has been extremely successful in what she has done for Barbados under very, very trying circumstances. So people, whether you vote on the 11th of November at the Glee Polyclinic, at Cuthbert Moore Primary, at the James Bryan Complex, at St. Jude's Primary, let us join together and make it massive. Make it massive. As I said, this is indeed a referendum on the Democratic Labour Party, not on May Motley. The question is, can the Dems come back? Can they come back? Are the Dems stronger than the PDP or the UPP? And this is not for May Motley to decide, you know. This is for the Dems to decide. And that is why I tell you that this is not a referendum on Motley. It's a referendum on the Dems. the Democratic Labour Party got themselves caught up in all types of financial worthlessness, all type of corruption. The entire country kicked them out. And now they are coming to St. George North saying, ease me back in. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not your job in this by-election, to ease them back in. You know, St. Lucie didn't give them a seat. St. John didn't give them a seat. Why should you, St. George North, be called upon to give them a seat and make them a one-man opposition? Why should you be called upon to do that? So whether you vote at St. George Primary, at St. George Secondary, at the Valley Resource Center, again, I beg you to join with us and help us to make this victory massive. Don't forget the Dems. They embarrassed this country, and they are still embarrassing the country, and they do not deserve your vote. But they're still coming to you and telling you, I am pure now. Coming to you and telling you, I have a halo of light around me. Please give me this St. George North seat. And that is not the role of St. George North in this by-election. In effect, what they are saying is take yourself out of power and put yourself in opposition, a one-man opposition. Now, if you live in Charles Row Bridge, the Glebe, Newbury, Superlative, you too I call upon to join and help us to make it massive. They got 30 love. And never at one stage did you hear the Dem say, Barbados, we are sorry about our past performance. This will never happen again. Never once did you hear the Dem say, Barbados, our last group was corrupt. We will never go anywhere with them again. The Democratic Labour Party has not moved a single inch. They are still at the same point that they were on the 24th of May 2018. They have not even all come out of their hole since the last election. Again, I call on the people of Tate Hill and Locust Hall and Sweet Bottom. 11th of November, come out in your numbers and help to make it massive. This by-election too is about the choice of a candidate. And as Cupid was telling you earlier, there is only one horse in this Gold Cup. And that is Tony Moore. That is Tony Moore. I heard the candidate for the Democratic Labour Party saying how he thought he was disrespected. But if he ever want to hear about disrespect, I think it was total disrespect to him and to the people of St. George North when the Dems had his introduction as a candidate done at the DLP auditorium, rather than in the constituency for which he is running. They took him to St. George North, to Belleville. But if the reason that I hear for them holding the launch at St. George is true, then what I can tell you is that the Democratic Labour Party is in a very dangerous place. Because I don't see any reason why you would have to be saying we had to be selling some chicken wings and some drinks. They are in a very, very bad place. You see those Dems that are showing the heads now? If any one of them had the slightest inkling that they could win the seat, people, Floyd Reefer would not be running. If any one of them had the slightest inkling that they could win the seat, Floyd Reefer would not be running. He would not have been their candidate. They know, and you know, that Floyd Reefer has a mountain to climb. People like Esteban Suku and Richard Seeley and Stephen Lashley and Verla de Pisa, one of them would have been running in this seat if they thought that they had a chance. Floyd is running because they know that he will lose. They know that he does not stand a chance. I was telling someone that they should have mashed up an old bus. They should send an old bus to get mashed up. Send Esteban Suku. Send Colin Spencer. Send Jetta Ince. Mash up one of them. But they chose to mash up a brand new bus. An innocent fella. They take him and mash him up. And I think that they have betrayed him. As I said, this by-election is about the choice of a candidate. Tony Moore is as solid as a rock. Tony Moore is brilliant and she is well qualified. And when I say well qualified, I do not mean things like degrees and those behind her name. Listen, I am saying am, I'm not even saying was. I am in the Senate with Tony Moore. Tony Moore is articulate. She is well-rounded. Tony Moore doesn't only speak on labor matters, you know. Tony Moore speaks on the economy. She speaks on tourism. She speaks on health. She speaks on education. She speaks on international business. Everything she can handle. Well-rounded. And Saroy was on this very platform, not because Tony Moore is a member of the Barbados Labour Party, but because he knows of her ability. He still has friends at the ILO, and he has heard about Tony Moore's performance at ILO meetings. She is an extremely talented candidate. Tony Moore is going to hit the ground running. She is already a representative. She represents workers like you. Her struggle and your struggle, the same struggle. She knows what representation is all about already. She knows what negotiating is all about already. People, Floyd Reefer is too green. He is too green. You have to make this decision, St. George North, as to whether the person you elect will have the experience or the training to represent you. You have to make that decision. Tony Moore, as I said, is already in the Senate. She will hit the road running, I said. She knows about parliamentary procedure already. She knows when to rise on a point of order. And she knows about the standing orders of Parliament. Floyd Reefer is too green. Tony Moore is a ready-made representative. I learned many years ago that the process of getting a ready-made pants is easier than finding a tailor and getting measured. And so you have a ready-made representative. Floyd Reefer is a rookie. He is a rookie. They're signaling and telling me, come home. So what I want to finish by saying, people, especially the people of St. George North, don't forget what I tell you. People of Golden Ridge Village, people of Bournes Village, people of Ashbury, join with us on the 11th of November and let us make this victory massive. Good night and God bless you.